Japan isn't just about where you go, it's how you show up. Because when you get to Japan, you will have that moment thinking, why does everyone look so put together and effortless? And I'm just here with the same bag I always use at home. From the streets of Tokyo to hectic Osaka to the quiet corners of Kyoto, everyone just has this ease about them, and the bag is always part of the outfit. And that's exactly where I got it wrong on my last trip. I packed for convenience, but not for how I wanted to feel. And when you're out all day, eating, shopping, trains, your bag becomes everything. So this time I'm doing it differently. I'm building my entire Japan bag setup around one thing: versatility. Bags that actually work with your outfits, not against them. That you can switch up depending on the day and the vibe. So this is me fixing that mistake with my new Topologie bags. Thanks Topologie for sponsoring this video, and this is an ad, but I really like their stuff. You're here because you don't know what to bring with you on your next Japan trip. I'm going to show you exactly what bags to bring, what to pack for classic days, whether you're exploring Shinjuku, evening drinks in Shibuya, early mornings through the Arashiyama bamboo forest, or even long days travelling on the Shinkansen. Because in Japan, you need your bits and bobs sorted, and your outfit still needs to slap. So here's exactly what I'm bringing and how I'd style it. Before I get into what I would pack, I want to talk about the brand for a second, because Topologie is a brand I'm seeing a lot of in the last few years. They actually started in rock climbing. Their whole design DNA comes from climbing gear, the hardware, the rope details, the way everything is built to be modular and functional. What I love about them is that they've taken this rock climbing core and reimagined it for an urban lifestyle. So it still has all that technical functionality, but it looks understatedly cool. And the thing that really got me is the creativity behind the system. It's not just one bag, it's pieces that work together. You decide how you want the straps, attach accessories, clip things on and off. And for Japan specifically, where you might start your morning in a quiet temple and end your night in Shibuya, that adaptability is everything. So here's what I built my Japan setup around. Most days in Japan start quite simple. You leave in the morning and you don't really come back until late. You might start somewhere like Shinjuku, grab a coffee, do a bit of shopping, and then suddenly you're across the city, ending your day in Shibuya. So whatever you bring with you, it has to last the whole day. This is the Topologie Cloud Hobo bag in moss. It costs €145. I feel like this bag would completely change how I would move around Japan, because in a city like Tokyo, you're constantly on the go. We were filming, editing, shopping, jumping between areas. So you need something that stays out of your way but still looks good. And the real standout is the modular strap system. These straps are sold separate to the bag, but you can swap them out depending on the vibe. So it almost feels like a different bag each time. We can go from a simple shoulder bag using the O-ring carabiner, or make it into a crossbody bag for a more hands-free wearing using this cloud or the puffer strap. Same bag, but completely different energy. It also has these daisy chain webbing for attaching accessories like their Topologie Wears system for more customisable setups. I chose this mini cassette sacoche in canary yellow papery colour, which is an absolute must for those loose coins in Japan, as a lot of places are cash only, and I can attach it to my main bag as an easy access. And then one more thing that I've clipped to the outside. This is the Kranz keychain. It's small, but it's one of those details that just finishes the bag off, and it means my hotel room key is always right there. So this is everything I'd carry with me on a full day in Japan, starting with cameras because I'll be filming all day, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and all its attachments, case, mic, battery pack, and then my Insta360 with a couple of accessories, the necklace and the small stand, my phone with its Topologie wrist strap, which I originally got because of the phone snatches in London, but it's also great to be hands-free. This silicone sticker that sticks to the back of your phone for any hands-free shots. AirPods, sunglasses, mine are from Gentle Monster, and then just small things like lip balm and wet wipes. And then the one thing that's quite specific to Japan is carrying your passport every day, because a lot of places offer tax-free shopping, so you'll need it on you if you want to claim that back. And finally, a water bottle. I use a lightweight steel bottle from Waterdrop. Although there are vending machines everywhere, it just saves you constantly buying plastic bottles. And also, I'll be using Topologie's utility Sacoche as an internal bag. It fits the Osmo and its attachments perfectly, as well as all my other filming gear and my passport and any cards. So that's kind of everything. It doesn't look like much, but it's exactly what I'd end up reaching for throughout the day. For a day in Tokyo, I'd keep it simple but comfortable. Still put together, but something that works for walking all day. For this first look, I'm leaning into Japan's street style. These shorts I picked up in Japan from 415 Edifice for about £30, really loose with adjustable poppers on the side, which is perfect for before and after eating. Jorts have been everywhere, but in Japan it's more about that oversized streetwear feel, so I'd balance it out with this smaller fitted top. This halter neck is from Topshop on ASOS, and it just livens it up. Complete it with the Gentle Monster brown square glasses, and then I'd go for my Nike Air Rifts as footwear, which nod to that Japanese split toe style. And the bag just fits into that, hands-free, easy, nothing distracting, worn as a shoulder using the ring carabiner, and it just sits really naturally with the outfit. But then the next day feels completely different. You might be somewhere like Kyoto, on your way to the Arashiyama Bamboo Grove Forest. Everything slows down a bit. You're still walking, but in a completely different way. More exploring and less rushing. For a day like this, I'd go for something a bit lighter and a bit more feminine. This linen black skirt is from Zara. The top is a Japan purchase from Left Alone, a football jersey but knitted. Shoes are the black and white Mexico 66 Onitsuka Tigers. And I'm not changing the bag, I'm keeping the same Cloud Hobo, just switching up the strap, which completely changes how it looks. I got this Cloud crossbody strap in the same moss colour that has this scrunched up design. It's very cushioned and comfy to wear and clips onto the sides of the bag, which really just changes the personality, all without needing to bring another bag on the trip. I'm also adding the Kranz keychain for a pop of orange and my trusty coin Sacoche for when I want to grab some mochi from a street stall. And then the evenings in Japan are kind of their own thing. You might head out for dinner or just end up wandering around, so I'd wear something a bit more elevated, but still easy enough to move around in. These boots are from Vagabond with a square toe. This green halter neck top with a corset is from a range on ASOS. And these jeans I actually purchased in Bangkok recently in Icon Siam from a brand called Urban Revivo. They were so cheap, only £26. And I'll wear the Cloud Hobo as its basic form, the shoulder bag, just to give the look a slightly more elevated feel for the evening. Or this is actually where the utility Sacoche gets a second life. I'll only need a few things in the evening, my phone, card and keys, and everything feels like it has a place. I'll attach the Cloud crossbody strap, and that's my entire evening bag sorted. Same piece I had inside my bag all day, now worn on its own. What makes these bags work so well for Japan specifically is how Topologie has built their bags to be creative and modular. You're never stuck adjusting it, you're never taking it off constantly, and it never interrupts what you're doing, whether that's filming, shopping, or just walking through the city. It becomes part of your routine without you really thinking about it. And in a place like Japan where you're constantly switching environments, that flexibility is everything. One thing that surprised me about traveling in Japan is how often you're moving between places. From Tokyo to somewhere like Kyoto or Osaka, you don't always take your main suitcase with you. A lot of people actually use services like Yamato Transport to send their big luggage ahead, so you can just travel on the Shinkansen with your essentials. This is the Topologie Summit Duffle Medium, costing €155, and honestly it's become one of the most functional travel pieces I've used. What I love about it is that it completely collapses flat when you're not using it. It doesn't take up space in your luggage, it doesn't feel bulky, and then when you need it, it expands into a full capacity travel bag that actually fits everything you need. It's one of those bags that feels minimal until you start packing it, and then you realise how much you can actually hold. So whether you're carrying it through a station or slinging it crossbody, it moves with you rather than against you. And the strap system makes a big difference here too. You can wear it handheld with Topologie's 10mm rope loop for a more clean travel aesthetic, which brings it back to Topologie's rock climbing roots, but now reimagines for an urban lifestyle. I like the idea that you could carry this as hand luggage and be able to open the top and get out anything you need, unlike how a rucksack has you digging inside for everything. And then I've got the utility Sacoche clipped directly onto the front of the duffel. This is where I keep my keys, my transit card, anything I need to grab quickly at a ticket gate or convenience store. Because on a travel day, you're in and out of your bag constantly, and having that one dedicated pocket on the outside just removes all that friction. It's a small thing, but honestly, it changes how the whole bag functions. So what can we get inside? For a travel day, I'd pack one extra outfit because you don't always have your main suitcase when you arrive. Maybe you want to change for dinner or the weather shifts. I'd also bring my iPad for planning the next stop or just watching something on the train. And of course, headphones. These are the Sony WH-1000XM4 wireless noise cancelling headphones. And then all the essentials in my utility Sacoche. All my tech, the Insta and the DJI Osmo. Portable charger, this is just the Anchor one. And a larger 1 litre water bottle, again from Watertrop. Some SPF and face serum from Beauty of Joseon. These are my favourite skincare essentials right now. And then maybe just a hair scrunchie. And what I like is everything has its place. It doesn't feel like you're digging through your bag all the time. There are loads of inner zips and compartments for more delicate things, and you can really pack the bag quite full. This is the medium-sized duffel. There is a smaller one and a larger. And the style makes me feel like an organised, sophisticated woman. For a travel day in Japan, you're still kind of exploring. You might have a half day somewhere. For a day like this, I'd wear these vintage trousers in this stone colour, which I picked up from a vintage store in Shibuya one evening. A simple strap top, and in case the aircon is quite cold on the train, this leopard print cardigan, which I got from Kobe down Motomachi Shopping Street, an amazing place for vintage shops at really good prices. I'm also wearing my very comfy pumas that I picked up on Cat Street in Harajuku. Everything comfortable and easy to move in. And the duffel with its 10mm rope loops just works with it, whether I'm wearing it over the shoulder or at arm's length, and not forgetting the Kranz keychain. And my final look, another travel fit, still really casual, but I had to flex the Japanese Origins needles trackies in there. My Nike Air Rift toe trainers, which I did pick up in Japan, but I see them everywhere now in London. Purple needles trackpants, I picked them up from 415 Edifice for about £80, and because of the yen conversion they were much cheaper than the usual 120. Top is a simple white knit from Mango, and again the same duffel, but this time I might use the puffer strap to connect to the corners and make it even more hands-free by wearing it crossbody like this. I think what I've realised about travelling in Japan is that it's not about packing more, it's about packing in a way that lets you move easily through different parts of your day, from busy cities to quiet moments to travelling in between, without really having to think about it, and just feeling like everything you brought with you actually fits the experience. And not feeling like you're the only one with the wrong bag anymore. Let me know in the comments which look was your favourite. If you have any questions about where I got anything from, make sure you're subscribed so we can keep being friends, and I'll see you in the next one.